My customer Lauren is basically had her website pulled down, so the website's now offline. We recently built the website for her, and it's hosted on our server. So from off the face of it, it sounds like it's our problem, and this is basically a little bit more of a complex issue. It's not hard to fix. It's just it can get a little bit complicated, and that's why I want to do this video today. Because if you ever find yourself in a situation where your customer's website's gone down and from your side you're fine, they're still going to look at you and expect you to help. And you should do that, because if you want to keep your customers, if you want your customers to know that you're the go-to person for websites, then you should be knowing how to fix this stuff, and you should be charging them for this. On this instance, Lauren, the customer, she is an SEO customer of ours. So we built a website for her. We now put her onto an SEO retainer. She's spending less than £1,000 a month with us on the retainer, but it's still money at the end of the day, and it's more than a few £100s. So it's definitely worth my time looking into it and getting it fixed for her, just so we look great. So let's have a look at what's going on. So the website in question is janeyoungwellness.co.uk. So I go to the website, boom, website's down. She's also told me that the website, she's also told me that her emails aren't working as well. So this is a problem. So if I go, the first thing I'm going to do, right, because I know nothing's changed my side, right, and you can do this by logging into the server and having a little look, or logging into your hosting package and figuring it out. But I know that nothing's changed my side. I know it's not my fault. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that the A record is actually pointing to the website hosting package from her domain. Now there's a problem here. DNS PROBE FINISHED NXDOMAIN. That means that there's no DNS records. But let's just check this out. So I'm going to go over to janeyoungwellness.co.uk. I'm going to copy that, and I'm going to type in DNS records lookup online. I'm just going to click that, drop in the, yeah, there's just nothing here. Literally nothing here. I mean, let's just get another view. Let's go on another tool, DNS checker. This one's pretty good. Make sure you strip everything from that. That might have been why. Doesn't show anything. Yep, cool. So we can see here, no A record, no records at all. There's no records being found to the domain. So there's no way the website will be able to load, because it's not an A record to show that it's going to load. Like, the website doesn't know where to look at. It needs to look at my server. For some reason, this has been stripped. So my guess would be that the customer has deleted their hosting package. Now, let's do what's called a registrar lookup. And what this will do is tell us where the domain has been registered. Cool. So let's drop this in. Boom. Look up. Okay, so we can see here the name servers point to SiteGround, and it was registered at 123reg. So if you don't understand how DNS records, name servers, and registrars work, I'm going to give you a little bit of a breakdown. So you go to a platform like GoDaddy, Wix, or 123reg. I don't know why I said Wix. I don't want to use Wix to register domains. But you could go to these platforms, 123reg, GoDaddy, Fastly, there's tons of them. You can go there, you can register a domain. Then what you could do is you could go to something like Wix or Squarespace, and you could start to build your website. Or you might use an external provider like SiteGround to host your website. And then what you would do is when you're inside that platform, you would say connect domain, so I can display my newly built website. Like, it can be connected to the domain where I've registered from, and it can just work. It can show the website. What you'll find is that in most scenarios, it will change the name servers, which is what this has done here. So they've registered on 123reg. They've obviously used SiteGround for website hosting, but SiteGround has basically forced the name servers to be SiteGround. And when a name servers point to SiteGround or anywhere else, that means you cannot edit DNS records inside of 123reg. So if I go into 123reg and I try to edit DNS records, it won't let me. It won't work. Nothing will happen. And that's because SiteGround control the name servers. So the way that you would fix this problem, where you need to change DNS records or log in and check them or see what's going on with them, you need to sign into where the name servers point to, and you'll have no idea how many times I've been in a situation with a customer, go and set their website live. They've given me their registrar login because they don't understand name servers, they don't understand DNS records. They're just like, I brought my domain from 123reg. So they give you the login for that. You change the DNS settings, and it doesn't work. And you're like, what the hell's going on? You need to do a name server lookup. This is a very, very valuable piece of information. Once you know where the name servers are, then we can sign into them. So I've already signed into them here, right? So I've signed into SiteGround. There's no websites, there's no domains, there's no email marketing plans. Now, there's nothing, there's no products inside of SiteGround. So what I think she's done, she's deleted our hosting package. Now, please bear in mind, I am the person hosting the website. When I say that she might have deleted the hosting package, I mean within SiteGround. And I know this sounds complicated because you're like, Reece, you're hosting a website, but you're also saying SiteGround, there'd be a hosting package inside of SiteGround. It doesn't make sense. In order for you to edit DNS records, you might have to have a hosting package. Doesn't mean that you host a website, just means that you have access to the DNS records. So this can also get a little bit confusing, but just roll with my process here and things will make sense. So sign into SiteGround, there's nothing here, right? I know I'm hosting a website, but I can't see any hosting packages in here. I can't see nothing. There's no way for me to edit DNS records. So what I'm gonna have to do is change the name servers, right? Back to 123reg, which is where they register their domain name. But where this gets complicated, there's no DNS records to put in because she's deleted them. She's deleted the hosting package. So this is a bizarre situation. What we need to do is we need to go on to DNS history and we need to get a record. We need to get the list of records which already existed. So let's go ahead and do that. Let me grab her domain. I always do that because her name is Lauren, but the business is Jane Young Wellness. I always put Lauren Young Wellness. Cool. So you can see here, there's been 2 changes recorded over the last 2 years. But this is name servers. We need to see all the DNS records. So this probably isn't a good one to use. DNS history. This looks terrible. Let's go off that. SecurityTrails. This should have it. Might make you sign in and create an account or something. But let's hope not. Let's hope not. Okay, cool. I'm in. And obviously the DNS records are here. There's nothing there. If I go historical data, now it makes me sign in. Let me get logged into this. Okay, boom, I'm signed in. I did not need to pay for an account. You shouldn't really have to for doing like a tiny task like this. I can see here there's a few records in here, right? So we've got the website. So this was her old website. This is when we launched the new website, right? So this is my server. Let's have a look at these other ones. A records, there's probably going to be nothing in there because of that. Yeah, I don't think we even need to look at that. MX records, this is the important one because their emails have gone down. So I need to know the DNS records so I can pop this in. So this is going to show us all of the old records. Boom, here we go. Google, boom, boom, boom. This is what we need. This is what we need. Name servers should still be on SiteGround potentially, and then they probably was on 123reg like we just saw a moment ago. But let's wait to see what that comes up with. I'll tell you what, while we're waiting for this stuff to load, I mean, the most important one I can tell you now for a fact is A record, MX, and text record. I don't think I've ever used an SOA record. I'm not even sure I know what that is. And if I don't know what it is, then trust me, you probably don't need to know what it is either. So yeah, I think that's fine. And then let's just wait for the text record to load actually, because this is quite important. Now there's 8 subdomains there as well. Okay, cool. So all of these we need to add in. Super, super important. Or, sorry, they're all just the same verification. They're all just verifications. We just need to add the last one in. We're just going to add the last one in. Cool. Now, there's also some subdomains. Now, this is quite important because, for example, for me to activate an SSL certificate, I need to add a text record to a subdomain _ACME-challenge dot whatever the domain name is. And that's how I add an SSL certificate inside of my dedicated server. So you need, this is important for us to look at. Now I can see they've got these subdomains here. I don't think we need to really worry about any of these. It's fine. Also, this is a really, really important piece of advice for you guys. When you're looking into a technical problem and you fix the main thing, right? Our website's down, our emails now, I can fix those 2 things. That is all that really matters, right? And there'll be loads of people that this is going to be a really controversial thing. And people are going to agree with me, IT people are going to say, you're not doing your job, blah, 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 blah. There's only so much you can do without you losing money. So I could spend all night working out how can I get a list of every single possible subdomain and then every single possible text record that exists under all of those subdomains. I could go through all of that, but it's unnecessary and it's gonna drain time. What I can do is fix the problem, go back to her, say it's completed, don't say anything else, and if she doesn't complain about something breaking or something going wrong, then leave it. It's fine, you've done your job. If she turns around and says my clinic management software isn't working anymore, then I say, okay, can you give me a login to that? I'll log into that, I'll check it out. They'll probably say, you need to add this record, you add the record, bomb, sorted. Like, don't try to fix everything all the time. Just fix the things that are important to fix and then let the rest happen. Cool, so now let's jump back into this. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna need to sign in to their 123reg account, and I'm basically just gonna pull over the DNS records. That's what I'm going to do. Cool, so I'm going to go and get the details. Cool, I've signed in. So now I'm going to go over to the DNS records. Now it's this domain here. I'm going to go over to DNS. Now the name servers point to SiteGround. We don't want that to happen anymore. So I'll go over to name servers. Boom, I want to change these. And I'll use 123reg's name servers. I'm going to press save, continue, and now the name servers will be pointed back at 123reg, which now means I can edit these DNS records appropriately. Now I have just changed the setting. It might take some time for it to register, which is why it's coming up with this message here. It might be I just refresh and it works. But I'll come back to this video as soon as that's been done. Cool. Right, perfect. So we're good to go. So it's got these records in here, and then all we need to do is copy over the records. So if I go to historical data, I've got my IP address in there like that. I'm going to do this, I'm going to go like that and just press save. Cool, so that's going to add that. That's all good. Really annoying thing about this, right, is when there's two-factor authentication set up. So every time you do a DNS record, it has to text the client, and basically then you have to get the code. It is long, so now you've got to pin down both times where you're both available. Cool, right, so let's go ahead and get all these added. Now I know that it's using the Google MX records. Now this doesn't tell us priority, this is only giving us a little bit of information. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to type in Google MX records. And God. Okay, so it's these ones. It is these ones. Cool. So let's go ahead and get these dropped in. So blank or at one, and then this. So that's the first record. So MX at one. Boom. And then always try and set the TTL to as low as possible. Usually this is 600 seconds, which is 5 minutes. Cool, so I've added the first one. I'm going to go ahead and add the second one. And I'm going to come back to this as soon as that's done. Cool, so I've just added in all of the MX records. So there was like 5. I think the second one's hiding. Yeah, there it is. Boom. So all of those are now in. So in theory, website should be back online. Email should be working again now. We do want to check the text records, yeah, because it was the there's this one that we need to add. So let's get this popped in. So let's just add this. I believe it's just that. And like I said, if there's a problem with this, they'll let me know. So that's pretty much it. Now I've got a feeling, well, I know for a fact that once we go onto the website, the SSL will probably not be working. All right, so this still hasn't refreshed yet. Now what we can do to see if this is definitely working, or we've done the right thing, is do what's called an A record lookup. So this should now come up with the new record that we've just typed in. So let's have a quick look. Yeah, boom, it's there, cool. And this should be reported by, so you can see here, it's updated most places in the world, just not everywhere. So this could be browser cache. The reason why this isn't working for me, it could be loads of different things. I mean, if I load up incognito, No, it's just going to take some time. It's just going to take some time. Now, what I'm going to do, because I know for a fact the SSL certificate isn't going to work, so I'm going to just fix this problem now. Cool. So this is the this is the SSL certificate record stuff. Now, what I'm going to need to do is just basically unassign and then redo it, because I know that will be a problem, because we're now the DNS record that activated it in the first place is no longer there. So I'm going to just do this now. This is specific to my server. You guys will have obviously like different ways of doing it. If you follow my course, if you get my free course, I teach you how to set up in a shared hosting environment, because the course is made for people who want to start their website design business as opposed to scaling it straight away. It is start and scale, but it's predominantly for beginners. I teach you the shared hosting method. That's pretty much the angle that I go with. However, once you get established and you get set up, you will eventually go for a dedicated server, which is what I'm on now. It's a lot more money. I pay about £150 a month for my dedicated server. Then you can host loads of websites on it and just get a little bit more flexibility and stuff. But yeah, so now what I need to do is I need to add this text record. And this is what I mean, like I've got to add it to a subdomain _ACME-challenge. So if I look at historic records associated with the main domain, I'm not going to see these. So this is the only area of caution. But like if you know your customer well, you'll probably know what systems they have, and then you could check with them. But you don't really need to be honest. I mean, you're like, as long as you're doing the job that has been asked, and maybe you just approach them and just say, look, I think this might impact other systems you have in place, blah blah blah. Might even be a way for you to upsell and get some more money out of it. If you wanted to do that. Cool, so I've now done that. Now what I can do is I can test to see if it's added. So if I type in on Google text record lookup and then I put in that domain, I can see here it's been added. Wicked. So yeah, 5EA, perfect, that's the one. So now I can go into here and verify that, and then that should now know that the new record is added. Perfect, and we can see that now it's all been done. SSL is live, which is all good. So now let's go ahead and check the status of the website and see if that's back online. So I've got a very strong feeling it's not going to work for us. Let's have a look. Yeah, still doesn't work for us. So now what we're going to do, I'm convinced we've done everything right. We've changed the name service back. That could take a while to propagate globally. We've checked using external DNS checker. The record is actually there. It actually now exists. There's no reason why that shouldn't work. We've done everything. We've done everything we should have done. So now this comes down to probably browser cache. So what you can do is go to something called browser link, and it allows you to just load a website basically, and it will do it from an external server. Boom. And as we can see there, the website's live. I mean, it looks a bit rubbish, like the cart icon is like just above the book now and stuff like that. Not great, but that's because it's like loading it on like a netbook or something like that, like a really small screen. But yeah, you can see here that the website's live, which is all good. So yeah, I mean, I'm happy with that. It's just a case of browser cache my side. I'm convinced that the problem is fixed. You would ideally want to wait until you know for a fact you can see it your side. But at the end of the day, it's all good. You can also check on your phone in incognito using 4G, and then that will bypass your network cache. And then obviously it's a different browser as well. The last thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to do an MX record lookup on the website, on the domain as well. And that will basically be just so I can go back to them and I know for sure that the emails will be working. You could also send a test and etc. so on and so forth. Cool. So yeah, I mean, there's a bunch of these records in. I think you should only see 5. I don't know why they're all duplicated up, but looks like there's like these other types of records like next to it. Maybe that's like an AAA record or something like that. Your DNS hosting provider is GoDaddy. We can see that's there. So yeah, we're all good to go. So that's how you fix the problem. We know that it's working because I've loaded the website here. And yeah, that's basically how you would fix a website going down. Now it could be so many different things. It could be that the hosting package is expired, it could be the domain is expired. But if you follow these steps and you go through each each place. You go through the registrar, you go through the name servers, you go to the hosting package, you go to the site itself. If you do all of those things, you will be able to find the problem. And if you can't find the problem, pick up the phone and call the support for each of the platforms. Call the support for the name servers, call the support for the registrar, call the support for the hosting provider. Just call the support and just say, here's the problem. They will help you. They will help you fix it. That's why I use Fasthost. Fasthost is sick. You can call them anytime. You speak to somebody who's really easy to talk to. They're all super experienced. They love helping you out. They're always in a good mood. Perfect. But yeah, I hope you guys have found this useful. Remember, get my free course on researchsane.com. Learn how to build websites properly and set up your own website design business.